everybody. Thanks a lot for joining me on this weekend market update. Today's date is Saturday the 19th of October 2019. I just wanted to clarify a couple of points of analysis as we move into the week upcoming, which will begin on the 21st of October. Most recently in the video, or at least in the previous video, we were talking about, again, the bears themselves beginning to capitulate. All right. We were talking about the markets breaking above their resistance areas and continuing to higher prices, not only really for the back end of 2019, but also much deeper into 2020. Right, that still remains to be true. I just wanted to say that still very much so remains to be true. We're not changing the analysis whatsoever. However, what we do from time to time, and what we do every week in that Pivot Point Pro analysis class, is update you forward-looking analysis on what to expect for the week upcoming. Now, what I can say, all right, is that earlier this morning I sat down for, I believe, an hour and 12 minutes, and that class is now recorded up online on the website, which is good. Without going into too much detail, I just wanted to say that the markets, or at least over the next 1, if not 2 weeks, all right, the bears are going to have the upper hand. Okay, it's really as simple and concise as that. Let me just repeat myself. Over the next 1 to 2 weeks, the bears should have the upper hand. They should have at least a little bit of short-term downside momentum on their side. However, and this is the big caveat right now, however, the bulls are going to win out long-term. I just want to make that very clear as I sit down on the 19th of October as we move into another 4 week of trade upcoming. We are now in the midst of earnings season. In fact, some of the shares that we follow over on the left-hand side of my screen, they have just, or at least come out the other side of earnings, in particular IBM and also Netflix. However, the week upcoming, it is going to be a week, not only in terms of the overall markets themselves being most likely volatile, and when I say volatile, I'm talking about downside volatility in the S&P 500, the Dow Jones, and the NASDAQ. But added on top of that volatility is going to be, right, the reporting of a number of companies in this top 12 list on the left-hand side of my screen. So again, without going into too much detail as to what we spoke about, all right, so I don't want to be essentially, when the markets themselves turn down and whenever we see some form of a sell-off which takes place in the markets, there's always a couple of, bears, which is fair enough, who'll show up and start sort of, trolling a little bit in the comment section, which is fine. But I just wanted to show you again, all right? This is where we started 2019. This is where we are at the current juncture, okay? The direction of the market still remains to the upside. If you disagree with that, I think you should maybe perhaps get your eyes checked. And the reality is, whether or not you want to call this some form of an ascending triangle, whether or not you want to call it a symmetrical triangle, all right? Both are consolidating patterns, both are continuation patterns, and really what we're working towards right now in the markets themselves is that we are drawing towards the apex of each or either of these two consolidating patterns, and generally speaking, we will see that market direction continue. However, once again, for the week upcoming, we are still dealing with an open window. All right, we are still dealing with resistance that is still yet to break. All right, we've had one. Let me just go out so I can show you this. We've had 1, 2, 3, 4. Now this is the 5th occasion whereby we are legitimately running into resistance just above 3,000 points. Okay, at the same time, we are raising that of the support area on the S&P 500. It's natural to see another wave oscillation, okay, to the downside to close this open window. This, however, does not change the long-term outlook that we have held for the entirety of 2019. So right now, I am preparing you. I am warning you, okay? I'm trying to be as constructive as possible prior to the price action moving in the direction that we are going to most likely see some bearish activity essentially immediately, all right? When the markets open on the 21st, Monday, ding, 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 we may see selling out of the gate. Ideally, okay, if you're listening to this video over the weekend, the market pops, maybe potentially you can liquidate some longer term or at least long positions as well as we move closer into earnings season, whereby, again, a lot of the active companies in our list are reporting. So it'll give you an opportunity to close out. However, do not be surprised if you see the market back down to previous areas, most likely back on where we were on the 10th of October on this candlestick, all right? Do not be surprised if you see the markets rotate back down short term. Don't think for a moment that the bears are in control of the market, however. Do not think that this is some form of a macro topping pattern. It is not, okay? This is just another foundational brick upon which the market is going to use as support and leverage to build off from once we move through earnings, okay, and move into the final couple of months of 2019. Okay, so I'm just warning you, the storm clouds are here. I just wanted to sort of separate that of the dialogue as at the close on Thursday's video, and obviously as I sit down right now on Saturday, okay, just to make it as clear as possible before this happens, so to speak. But again, the writing's on the wall just here. The confluence of support is building. And if you would like to learn more about this, okay, have a look into that Saturday workshop that I just recorded a few hours earlier today. It will help you out, especially in terms of, I guess, the psychological impact that the financial, markets can have on you, especially if you don't have conviction, right, in the direction of the overall market and also that individual stock as well. All right, so I'll leave it at that as at Saturday. Again, pretty light on the analysis. It's more so just a very firm warning as we move into Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday that we should see these markets down, but it's nothing out of the ordinary. Okay, it's largely welcomed and largely expected. All the best, everyone. Enjoy your weekend. I will be back with you during the week for some more market updates. Goodbye.